Thank you guys for listening.
Well, I'm taking this and calling the police.
Does anybody want any water or anything?
I got some.
I'm chilling.
I'm good right now.
Hello, police. Yes, there's a white man acting crazy. Oh, you're not going to do anything. Oh, alright. So they're just black.
That's this one. Will you do a little mic check on that one? Just
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
What have you done?
Hit me to the hip.
You have grabbed
How does
me.
it go? Please, someone enlighten me. Please, someone tell me.
hip, hop.
Hippie to the hippie to the hip hip. hop.
Something. Don't stop the rock. 'cause
Yeah,
you
yeah,
Don't got something.
We need to play it. Let's get it bumping in this bitch to start the podcast.
I don't know if we have the right representation to be fucking up original rap lyrics.
What's the guy's name? He just did the Tiny Desk.
I have no clue. I haven't kept up.
Genuine. That's the Genuine. Yeah, Genuine. I didn't even realize that was him who even wrote that song. I had no idea who that even was until I saw that.
I've paid no
that Tiny
attention.
Desk.
I haven't been looking at Tiny Desk.
Man, so we all got together for the UFC fights. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah, dude. Those fights were epic.
It was
No lady fights
was
last
insane.
night.
Oh yeah.
No lady fights.
Only in the
You know what I mean?
prelims.
There wasn't the prelims, and I think it was
Oh,
the
yeah, we
fastest
didn't watch prelims.
strawweight.
Do I know?
I think it was the fastest strawweight knockout last night.
Really?
Yeah, them
I wonder how long it
Was it
was.
like 6 seconds or something?
Six-
20 seconds.
20
20
seconds.
seconds, yeah.
Damn. Was it like a knee or a kick?
No, she just beat the
Just
fuck out
brutal
of her.
beating.
Punches.
It was just
Punches.
brutal beating.
Yeah.
Damn.
She came out swinging and caught her.
I've already said I can't decide. My two favorite fights, I think, no diss on the main event, but my two favorite fights were Dan Hooker,
Yeah.
Turner fight.
Jalen Turner,
Yeah.
That was a good
and
one.
the next fight, which was
Duplessis.
Duplessis versus
Whitaker.
Robert Whitaker.
Oh,
Man, those two fights were fucking
Dude, the
good.
Turner Hooker fight was like
Whoa.
good
the
Lord.
swings in that. Like
Jesus
it was like you go in one way,
Christ.
obviously. Nope. And then
Oh.
switches back and it was like that was a
Right.
wild ride.
Well, I mean, to be totally fair, like Dan Hooker looked good in there, but he got caught by a couple nasty shots, including that head kick. That head kick was the
Dude,
fuck.
to the face.
I thought he was done.
To the cheekbone.
I don't know how he ate that.
That was fucking crazy.
It was nothing.
God.
It was nothing. He didn't even like stagger after that. He was just
then you got Bo Nickel, didn't even get touched.
Oh, Nickel, man. I know. He needs to fight. He needs to have a big fight. He needs to
Yeah.
have like a fight that like him versus. He's a middleweight.
Yeah.
Right? So like what if him and Strickland fought? I would like to see that fight.
I would too.
Like, I think him v. Strickland, like, would be a great
Him and
fight.
Chimaev.
That would also two great
Yeah.
wrestlers. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Him and Chimaev.
And I mean, obviously Chimaev can make 170, but to be totally fair, I think he's a 185er. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's a middleweight.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I kind of wish guys would stick to the one weight class more than they do, because now
Yeah.
it's so popular to chase two belts. Like, it's like the thing, you have to do it if you
Yeah.
want to be even cool nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's like back in the day, that is not how it was. You know what I'm saying?
You got your belt and you held your belt.
Man. Right? And they stayed in the same weight class primarily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they'd fight their whole career one weight class, but now is a person, as soon as they get their belt, like, okay, I'm going to go up and weight and challenge the next.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I
Sit
get
back
it.
for a minute, man.
It's
Relax.
like, they make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah.
They make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah. You
But-
think though, doing that, if you made that much money, you'd be like, I can chill for a second.
And
good.
I'm literally
I'm gonna chill for a little while. I'm good.
and I'm literally complaining about these men putting on great fights all the time. That's kind of what I'm doing,
Bro.
which is ridiculous.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
That Volk fight was a good fight too, and the Moreno and Pantoja fight.
That was a great card. It really was.
It was.
This mic is picking up like nothing, so I'm gonna try and split that between y'all three because this one's just at a distance is not doing good.
cool.
Try and get this one a little closer
Yeah, dude.
because it just sounds like okay, yeah, that's
But I don't know. Do you have any notes that I do?
just stupid topics.
Let's hear them.
One was like pet peeves.
Pet peeves.
What do you got? Yeah,
One.
got any fun like just
One-
stupid things that piss you off?
Well, I got one thing that comes to mind. I'll just say it real quick.
Sounds like we all have a few.
Yeah, immediately. What about fingernails scratching on the carpety upper of a car. You know what I mean? You know how that there's that fabric on the
headliner.
top of a car.
Is that a
and,
pet peeve or just like something that makes you cringe?
That I guess it's more of
I don't know
like
if
a
that's the
cringe.
same.
Okay. You see, a pet peeve is more like something that a person does that you hate,
Yeah,
right?
like
Or does it have to be something that a person
Something
does, or
that
can it be
something
anything?
that
anything,
annoys you.
It could be
anything,
anything, yeah.
Something
Okay.
that annoys you, I
All
guess.
All right.
I just hate when people stare. Oh,
People
God.
stare?
I hate it, man. Like, if I'm minding my business and I look up and you're just all in my face, just... nah, yeah. It pisses me off.
The funny thing is when you catch somebody doing that and you're like, hey,
Hello.
Yeah, hey, how you doing, man?
Do y'all catch a lot of people staring at
Dude,
y'all?
the other day I was at a stoplight and the guy was pulling, like, driving slow as shit, windows down, in my face the whole time, and I'm like,
Howdy,
what
sir.
are you doing? Like, just nod at him, and then as soon as I nod, he's like, oh.
Dude, I will be the first to admit that I'm so bad about doing that in traffic in Colombia.
Just staring at
I
people.
love it. I love pulling up people at the light,
Just
and
love
I'm just
giving
like
people shit.
looking at people at the light, and I'm kind of like scared when they look back at me. I'm like,
Fuck.
No, nothing.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you just gotta fucking
Like, oh, don't murder me.
Keep
Okay.
keep your head on the swivel. No, you can't. Don't be
You catch eye
staring.
contact, like, that might have been a cartel. Okay, just look forward.
Dude, driving in Colombia has made me feel like I can drive, like go back to Union, and it's like
It's
not
so
even.
easy.
Yeah.
It's
Myrtle
just
Beach
like-
did that for me.
Union is nothing.
I'm speeding around people. I'm like, y'all are fucking.
What are y'all doing?
Like,
Yeah.
y'all ain't got no place to be. They're like,
You go to Atlanta
'Cause
or
every-
Miami.
Exactly.
Good God.
Exactly.
Whole
Yeah.
different ball game.
Dallas.
I hate, speaking of traffic, pet peeves, I hate when, like, say I'm going 60 and you go around me at 70 and then immediately turn. What? You couldn't,
Yeah.
5 seconds?
I know that's so
5
ridiculous.
seconds. Really?
Yeah.
It's like
They go
watching-
around you real quick and get on their brakes.
Yeah, go around, you cut you off, slow down, right turn.
No.
Bro, like, you had to make both of our adrenaline start pumping just so you could turn 2 seconds quicker.
Wait, what happened to your car though?
What?
Like
a bush got him.
a
right?
bush.
Oh yeah,
like-
I went to Steel Hands last night, and from where I hit that tree a couple months ago, I was already held on with zip ties. And I guess it just pulled too much into the bush. And when I went to leave, I heard something. I heard one of them zip ties pop, and I was like, "Ah, fuck it, let's just get
Yeah,
on
yeah,
to
yeah.
Blake's house." At Blake's house, I was like, "Ah, damn! Look at my bumper, Devin. Shit." God damn.
He just gets out of the car, we're all talking, he's like, holy fuck, Devin. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? His bumper's hanging up. I was like, oh shit.
Jesus.
Took it to Walmart.
You encroached on that bush.
Yeah, oh my
It
god.
was standing its ground.
It's because where I was, I parked where the trucks were parked at. So I should have parked somewhere else. They was all up in the bushes, so I was like, shit, I'm showing what my little fusion can do. Nah.
You did pull
Man.
into the
Damn near
bushes.
fell apart on me.
I like that car though.
It is nice. I do fucks with it.
I like that car.
The
I
fusion.
want a 4Runner now.
No, of course.
I want a Tacoma.
That's only
so
logical.
bad.
You want to
Yeah.
It's
So
only
bad.
logical to want a four.
Freaking, those are the only things that are actually built to last. I feel like Toyotas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
You ever think
such
about
a
going to the Middle East?
diehard Toyota fan.
I haven't. I gotta get one.
You know, Middle East would be a cool place to take a
Heck
a
yeah.
4Runner.
That
You
would
know
be
what I mean?
fun.
Drive through the mountains.
Oh, like Moab.
No.
Middle
Yeah,
Eastern.
let me not put my 4Runner on a cargo plane.
Yeah.
Go to the Middle
No,
East.
I'm curious about.
Yeah.
You know.
I bet so. There's
Their
some
culture.
nice I thought we were talking about like rock crawling.
Oh yeah,
I thought we were talking about like off roading.
yeah. But
Not
you're gonna
just-
have to off road to get to the terrace. I mean, come on. Now.
To the
You think they just fucking hang out in
That's
town?
the culture you want to
You
experience.
think they
Bro.
just hang out in the middle of town, dude?
Probably.
Fuck
did.
Dubai. Let me find the terrorists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
fuck going.
Dubai would be fucking sick.
It'd be insane.
It seems
yeah.
sick as hell. Like that in Japan, like those two seem like some crazy.
I'd love to go to
cool-
Japan.
Japan is definitely on my bucket list
Japan's
places to
got
go.
some of
sure.
the
Australia?
cleanest bathrooms, but they ain't got no Mexican restaurants. So it's kind of a waste if you ask me.
Do you
Why would
not
have
like
such clean
sushi,
bathrooms?
cuz?
No, I love sushi. Why would you have
love
such clean
sushi.
bathrooms and not have Mexican restaurants?
What? How do those two things go together,
They
dude?
just do.
That's
It's like-
why they stay so
I think
clean.
That's
I'm
why
a-
they stay so clean.
When
Exactly.
you're telling me when you think of a
Bro.
Mexican restaurant, you think of a clean bathroom.
No.
No, the opposite.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think
Yeah,
I'm
the
pretty-
opposite.
So you're saying that because they only have clean bathrooms, they can't have Mexican restaurants?
That's one way to look
Well,
at
I'm
it.
saying they should.
I
They
don't
should
think that
have
was the
Mexican
point.
restaurants.
Because if you eat some Mexican, bro, there ain't no way you keep a bathroom clean.
Bro, a Mexican restaurant with a bidet.
Oh, God.
Bro, you just halfway through the meal, you go in and take a shower.
What a whole new situation.
Chill.
Whole new.
Dude, public bidets freak me out.
That is weird.
Yeah.
I don't
have
wanna
you ever
get-
used one?
No.
Like, has anyone ever experienced
I've
one?
never.
I've used one.
Have you really?
Yeah, I got one in my bathroom.
I want one so
Word.
bad.
Yeah.
What's it like,
One of those
dude?
tushies.
It, huh?
It's like the bidet attachment for the toilet.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the name brand, I'm pretty sure.
Do you like it? Like,
I mean, it's cool. It's straight. Yeah.
do you prefer that or that to toilet paper?
I don't use it often, but yeah, I guess. I mean, it works better.
It sounds to me like you like it so much that you don't want to talk
Yeah, I
about
sit on the toilet for like 5 hours
He's
sometimes
hiding.
at a time. Like,
I want
it.
to
He's
try
hiding how
one.
much he enjoys it.
I did
Full
try it one
blast.
time.
Does it ever hit your nuts?
no, there's a setting where you can make it do that. Yeah.
Little
There's
vibrating
100%.
wand comes out too.
It ain't that fancy. It ain't that fancy.
You're doing too much now.
It ain't that fancy.
You're asking
but
for too much.
There's
now.
100% a
You're gonna
setting.
have to sell it in a different store now. You're just gonna have to totally get it out of Walmart. You know what I
Like,
mean?
go to Spencer's to buy a bidet.
Yeah. Special bidet.
Pandora's box to get my bidet.
Get one to
Priscilla
push your
McCall's.
Do they
hemorrhoids
really
back.
have bidets at Spencer's?
No.
I
I was
don't-
about to say, what?
The ones that'll fondle your clit, they do.
Yeah. Oh.
Never forget.
All right.
I'll never forget the first time I walked into Spencer's. It was my first time I saw an old couple buying a dildo together.
Oh,
Yeah, bro. They were like
Good for them.
they were like
Good
60
for them.
plus. I was like 13. I was like, oh,
you should
wow.
have tried to make some money. Y'all need a young stallion.
Oh, Jesus.
Heck no, 13. They were.
Ooh,
Hey,
old
man.
couples. I got a
How
pet
dare
peeve
you.
with old couples. Seeing like a
Easy money.
married like 40-year-old couple holding hands while they're grocery shopping. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Who do you see doing that?
I was about to
people.
say.
I've
So many people.
never seen that in my life.
So that means when you do see it, you obviously make a judgment.
yeah, I would be like, what? Yeah, it'd be
Like,
weird.
so, I feel like if you're younger than like 18, you can hold hands all good. If you're older than like 75, then holding hands is adorable.
So that's
Anywhere in between, you don't need to be holding hands and like maybe if you're walking on the beach, but in
Yeah.
Walmart,
right. No,
who the fuck is holding hands in Walmart?
it's
Bro.
pretty romantic in Walmart.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my
Go by
juice is flowing.
Yeah.
Go by the beer section. Holding hands. Very
What you want
romantic.
tonight, baby?
Dude, you wouldn't believe how often I do see
Yeah, it's blue moons and we'll walk over to the snacks and get a 12-pack of Oreos.
and I tell you, that's probably the voice everybody I've seen doing that has.
Oh my god, dude.
Dinner's on
No.
me tonight,
Is
sweetheart.
that a pet peeve of yours then?
I mean,
Is that-
I
is
judge
that-
heavily when I see it, but I wouldn't say I get aggravated. I just judge and I'm like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing? Like, damn, is this your escort? Like,
That doesn't aggravate me, but if they're holding hands and they're carrying a child and pushing a buggy and the child's not in the buggy, they're just carrying it, holding hands. Yeah, no, I hate that shit.
are you serious? Or is that a joke?
No, I hate that shit. I don't know. I was like, why you carrying the kids? Put them in the buggy, man. Put them in the buggy, man.
And
Sometimes we'll be like,
Exactly. You gotta do what the kid wants.
But no, it's like
Situation.
the couples holding hands. Like the husband's pushing the buggy, holding his wife hand. His wife's holding the child. They're just pushing the buggy, walking. I don't know. That shit makes me upset.
Also,
You've seen this.
what
Working
about
in a
the,
grocery
I've seen
store.
this
the
firsthand.
practicality? If you're holding hands, you're 2x2. You're taking up the whole damn aisle.
that's true.
All right, so another grocery store pet peeve. Somebody's in the middle of the aisle looking,
Of course.
and you start walking down the aisle, and they don't they don't take a step forward or
Don't
a step
budge.
back to get. It's like, and it's always old people. It's always fucking old entitled white bitches who are in the middle of the aisle and don't want to fucking take a step back and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's the worst."
walk by
it's not
there.
just them, dude.
It's like, dude, you see
It's
me
not
coming.
just them, dude.
Take a step back. You see me come like. I don't know. I think most of my pet peeves are when it comes to other people just not being courteous. That kills me, man.
You know, I like the one when I see people in the grocery store, and they have like a buggy full of like cans of soda, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, you having just a soda party, or are you,
a soda party?
are you stocking up for the winter, or like?
How do you feel about a fully loaded cart in self checkout?
Get the
That's
fuck out of here!
Shit,
Bro.
I hate it. I hate it.
I'm not a fan. Like, I will do self checkout, but like because I get a lot of fruits.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to fucking just. I
I'd be
want them to
weighing
do
it
it.
in.
I want them to do it for me. Like,
Yeah.
I want them to. Like,
It'd be annoying as fuck trying to scan a red onion and
Yeah.
a green onion. It's
they
like,
do.
weigh your
They're
item.
faster than me.
Help
They
is
do
on
it
the
all
way.
day.
That's true.
Blah blah blah. Help is on the way. Yeah, it gets
Eagles is
annoying.
the worst with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, self
Eagles
checkout.
will- like, you'll put
Fucking-
something in the bag and it's like, please place your item in the bagging area. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, fucking, it's in the bagging area.
Jesus.
Or if you lift your bag and try to put it back in your cart before your card goes through, it screams at you. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, he's stealing. It's like, dude, I literally, the receipt is printing. Please, give me a second. And yeah.
Cutting a pie.
We made a Wagyu beef, pesto, mozzarella, and red sauce.
I think so.
Gonna be, she should still be warm,
Uh,
right?
Oh yeah, that'll be perfect.
That looks delish.
Oh, little
He put his blood, sweat, and tears into this, ladies and gentlemen.
little munch pod.
He's a soldier.
He's a little soldier.
I don't know about blood, sweat. Definitely sweat. Definitely some sweat.
Yeah, it's definitely hot today.
Some sweat and some adrenaline is really what. That's the secret ingredient to that.
Adrenaline. Adrenaline's.
Dude, I'm telling you, once you get it on the peel, and especially right now because the oven's in the parking lot, it's
Yeah.
like you're fighting the buzzer. You're
Yeah.
fighting the buzzer. And as soon as that thing comes off clean in the pizza oven, you just nothing but netted 3.
I'll take a
Like, it's so satisfying. Yeah, let me grab one of those.
Here, you want the steak?
I'm good.
Hell yeah, dude. Man, I've been loving that uni, and you've been loving that grill you got. What's it called?
It's just Expert Grill. It's like Walmart's house brand of grills.
I didn't even I've never seen that in a Walmart.
It's such a. I didn't see it because remember I told you that I was sending you a few texts of different pizza ovens. Like I sent you the
Delicious.
was it Rockware or whatever it was called, the Gosneys, and I was like trying to see like is there a good option out there that's cheaper than the Uni? And then I saw the one at Walmart, and I watched like 3 different reviews where people were so I could actually see how it worked, and I was like, dude, there's no way that's going to perform poorly.
Of course not.
I was like, it's got a stone. Oh Jesus, sorry. It's got a stone, and it has a flame.
Right.
It's gonna work.
That's what
It's
you-
gonna
that's
make
what you
pizza, and it's a 16-inch, bro.
So affordable, and such a big oven for that price.
$117.
That's sick.
So cheap. So like, if we were to start trying to sell pizza, we can run and get 1 or 2 more of those for nothing, and be running 4 fucking pizza ovens, and just be rotating, boy.
I know.
Because as soon as you put a pizza in and you want to let that stone come back up to temperature, you don't want to immediately throw another pizza on it. So if we got a rotation of 3 or 4 pizza ovens, it would help our efficiency a lot. But we'd be
For
burning
sure.
through a lot more wood.
Dude, I mean,
That steak and pizza sauce is really it goes really well
it's
together.
so delicious. That red sauce with that steak. But dude, do y'all prefer charcoal or propane when you're grilling? Do y'all grill? Have y'all grilled a lot? I know you have.
I'd probably say charcoal. I think I prefer charcoal.
Depends on the mood I'm in. You get a different kind of flavor with charcoal.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like the charcoal flavor.
I
do.
feel like if I'm not going for the charcoal flavor, I'm probably not grilling anyway. You know, I'll be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But I think there's some like the griddles. Like that's you can't do charcoal with that, but those are
yeah.
fucking awesome. I'd love to give me one of those little black stones.
mm-hmm.
I don't even
Those
want
are
the
so
big one.
sick.
I want because I build them all day long. So I
Yeah.
want one of the little like
What's the one that's
little
like this
28
big?
inches. Yeah, and there's also like the tabletop black stone that hooks up to the little camp propane.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Those would be really cool to bring camping. Throw it on the bed of the truck.
for sure.
That'd be fun.
Do some bacon and eggs and pancakes.
Oh man.
Sounds delicious.
My uncle has a black stone, but it's like a bigger one. He cooks breakfast on there when we go down to the beach.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude.
The
it's-
breakfast on a griddle. Or like burgers.
My dad's got the big boy.
You had the burgers. You came over to my house that day. I cooked them on that
Dude, I was
grill,
so
didn't
fucking stoned that night.
Yep.
Dude, that's the night we put that pot of chili on the thing.
Yep.
Made chili on the fucking Blackstone.
Yo.
That was sick.
The next morning, I was like, I had like 3 beers. Why is my memory shot? And I was like, oh, I was on like 2 edibles. I was gone that night, dude. It was great.
No, we watched the fights that night too.
Yep.
What fight card was that? That
I
was
think
like
it was Adesanya, wasn't it?
Was it on
it was this winter, right?
Yeah.
it was
It was
still
cold.
chilly.
It was cold out.
Get a little water.
It was
can't
still
remember.
chilly.
Oh man.
I don't remember that
What
card.
fight card was that?
How dare we? That's terrible.
No, it was the John Jones fight.
It was
Yeah,
the
well,
John
that's
Jones
what
The
it
fight.
John
was.
Jones
Hell
fight. Yeah.
Thank you.
That was the one that was over quick,
We
right?
paid for that, and it was
Yeah.
like, God, I mean, fuck, 30 seconds. Just hoping to be out here for a little bit longer.
For sure.
Dude, he finished Uriogane quick. I don't know what I expected.
Did you say Cyril Gane?
Whatever his name is.
Cyril Gane?
Dude, I've heard people say Gane, Gone.
That is
Cyril
one
Gane?
thing I'm glad I'm starting to do, though, is like pay for fights, because I used to just illegally streaming things like it was nothing.
You got it. Pay for it is so nice.
And then I also used to be the same person that would complain about fighter pay,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't really complain about fighter pay if you're
You gotta
not
pay.
supporting the UFC. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a great
Yeah.
point. Man, I realized the same thing, and that's why I started buying more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but about the pay, like I do think they're going to cut out that winter bonus, or at least significantly reduce it. That 50%, that's ridiculous. I don't think it's
I
going to
mean,
stick around much longer.
they should change it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people agree about that.
Man.
It's
And especially
crazy.
once the conversation
Especially if
gets
it's a
struck up
war.
and everybody's talking about it and everybody's on the same page, I think they'll make a change.
I mean, think about all those fights last night. You wouldn't-
Wars.
Exactly. They were all like left it all in the cage. They were all
They were
close,
beat.
except for Bo Nickel. The only one that wasn't close was Bo Nickel.
Like right
Yeah.
now, they are hurting for certain. Like they are at home. Like
Those two
"Oh."
little scrappy guys, the what were they like?
125s.
Yeah, dude, that was
Moreno
a
and Pantoja.
match, man.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were scrapping. That was interesting.
Man,
That was
they
probably
fought
my favorite fight last
for
night.
25 minutes viciously.
Like, did not give up.
That was the first time I've seen that Pantoja dude fight, and he's tough. He put it on
He
Moreno
is.
That was
last
impressive.
night. Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Like every UFC card, I feel like I see somebody new. Like every single one, I feel like I get introduced to somebody that I'm like, damn, I never really heard or seen you fight before. You know what I mean? And it's
Ready
like,
for
damn,
July 29th card.
what is that?
Texera, Pierre versus Valovich. Is that how you
Yeah,
say his name?
Blachowicz.
Blachowicz.
Oh, Pereira versus
Gaethje Poirier. Stephen Thompson's fight. I can't remember who Stephen Thompson's fighting.
Oh
That
yeah,
card's
Wonder Boy.
stacked.
Wonder Boy's
Wonder
fighting.
Boy's
Who was
fighting
he
on that
fighting?
card. Dude, there's like another fight too.
Look
That's
it
a
up.
pretty good one.
Whenever that Adesanya and Hooker goes down, that's going to be a hell of a fight.
Or Adesanya Duplessis.
Adesanya
Oh, yeah, no, yeah,
Duplessis, yeah.
That's going to be a hell of a
Man,
fight. man.
that's so intense. I hope they do that in Africa. I hope they
That'd be
do.
awesome.
They'd sell 100,000 seats. They could
Yeah.
literally sell 100,000 seats.
That'd
They
be
should go.
wild.
I know
They can
that.
go soccer stadium with that shit.
I know. That's what I was thinking, like Johannesburg or Cape
That'd be
Town.
insane.
But I'm sure that fucking Adesanya would want it in fucking Nigeria. He's
Yeah.
a champ.
But the
Yeah.
problem is,
You know what I'm saying?
there's a lot better venues in South Africa, and you're going to have a better turnout.
I'm not
than
aware
Nigeria,
of
I
the
would
venue
imagine.
situation in Africa, to be honest with
Well,
you.
I know South Africa's just got a lot.
They had the World Cup back in
Yeah,
2010.
I
So
don't
they,
know what Nigeria's held. I'm sure they've
I
got
don't
some
know.
good.
I'm sure they have some.
establishments, but-
Yeah, I'm sure they have some stadiums.
Damn. Kevin Holland's fighting Tony Ferguson, Paulo
Fighting
Costa,
Bobby Green.
Poirier and Gaethje, Blachowicz and Pereira.
When is that?
July 29th.
Dude,
Damn.
Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green will probably be a slug
Bro,
fest.
Yeah. Bobby Green.
That's a good
gangster.
card.
Anybody got plans for that weekend?
What weekend is
Watching
this?
that
It's
fight.
July 29th.
Pizza party?
Pizza party.
Pizza party?
Dude, you know what would be
We're gonna
kind
have
of
a pizza
cool if
party.
we did a fight, like kind of like the fight companion. Like we
That'd be
just
fun.
we
Yeah.
we can set up. We don't have to do it for the whole time, but like maybe like the last 3 fights.
Yeah.
We can just sit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The last 3 fights, we just
Just-
get up and like, because that'll probably be like an hour.
Yeah.
Or if we
Yeah.
do like,
Fight companion?
yeah, something similar. Like we
What are you
just
talking
set up a table
I
in
mean,
front
this
of
is
the TV.
essentially
Kinda
MMA. So
we
far.
like-
That's a good point.
We talk while we watch the fights.
Oh,
We
okay.
watch the fights
Yeah.
live. Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
right. So basically, we would set up the table, and then we would set up the camera, and watch the fights. I'll watch like the last 3 fights for like an hour and
Okay.
And it would be
20
our
minutes.
live
That'd be
live
fun. Just be
reaction.
That'd be
chilling.
fun. I need to buy some more mics.
Yeah, we should
But
probably.
I mean, both of these mics are $100 mics. I mean, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy. And plus, I love this so much. And again, I'm not gonna. A mic is not wasted on me. I make. I will put it to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Heck
sure.
yeah.
I have plenty of uses.
But
That's a
no,
nice setup though.
It's fun.
it's cool how it's very packable.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
scary.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not fun traveling with all
Yeah,
this.
that's a
It's
good point.
not fun.
I would imagine.
I mean, everything is the computer's worth more than everything combined.
Right.
So, but I don't stress about the computer. But the mics, like the camera, I forget the camera also. I mean, that mix is only like $100. Like everything's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But still, you don't want anything to go wrong and have to run to the
Yeah.
Guitar Center and be like,
Hey though, it gets the job done.
I love it. It's just so much fun. It's like even just coming down, like the whole act of packing up, coming down here. You get excited. It's almost
like
like
a
a little
ritual,
vacation.
yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Uh-huh.
And I get down here, like last time, I was like, I showed up and I set everything up, and then I shook your hand. And I was like, okay, now I'm here. Because I couldn't relax until I had everything set up. And I was like, all right, we're good. What's up?
Hey, good man. What's the next thing on your list, dude? Don't you have a little list?
Hold on, we pause. This guy.
Oh, how long ago did we pause?
No, right then. That's why I got the headphones on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're good. That's not,
Microsecond, he says.
not a
Might
problem
have
at
to
all.
smack another one of those.
Sorry, the mixer got pulled out of the computer, but
Good
you guys
grief.
didn't miss anything.
Over here destroying pizza.
Oh,
You don't know this? You good?
I'm
gonna save mine.
Yeah, I'm chilling. So, you know our discussion about...
We barely delved into pet peeves. Does anybody have any more pet peeves they want to get off their chest before we
Right.
move on?
I need like a handle on that, and I could just like swivel it to whoever's talking.
Yeah.
I would say like dry ass pussy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
When somebody tells
I
me
mean-
to do something, I'm gonna do.
Dry ass pussy
Like I'm in
can't
the
be a pet
process of
peeve because
doing.
typically that'd be your fault, my friend.
That's true. That's a good point. That always comes back. Yeah, that's a good point. I can't complain about that. I usually have nothing to complain about. I was making a joke. It was fictitious, ladies and gentlemen. You know, most times we're good.
He has a child. It worked once or twice.
That's all it takes, really. You know what I mean? Let's be real here.
Blake putting him to sleep earlier was the funniest shit ever.
He literally just like fights it until
I know.
it overcomes him, and he's like,
He was laying on your shoulder. You could see he was fading. He was just like, He was like,
You kind of have to hold them down a little bit sometimes.
he's like, I don't want
Yeah.
to go to sleep because of the principle. I don't care
Right.
if I'm tired.
Yeah.
You don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, we hanging out, but I'm so tired. I'm so angry.
That's essentially what it is. And then he
like,
just
damn.
tantrums out, and he's like, okay.
For sure.
it's time to go to sleep.
I'm going to sleep on my watch, though. You don't do this stuff. I'm making the decision to go to sleep.
Hell yeah.
This was all my doing. Fuck what you were talking about, Dad.
The little rebellious child.
Dude, he surprises to me in both ways, like how sweet and loving he can be,
Yeah.
but also how vicious and angry he can be at the same, like not at the same time. Obviously, there's
Yeah.
swings in his mood, but like just that big, I guess, range of emotions that he's capable of at such a young age is really, you don't expect that. You think of him to be like, I don't know, maybe like not as
Yeah.
Aware.
well, no, not maybe they just you think of like little kids as not really having that much of a personality, but you realize that most of the time that's not the case, especially if you try to feed it.
Well, they
You know what I
also- they
mean?
have no
You give
filter.
it encouragement, right?
They have no filter yet, so all emotions they experience, they just let out.
Right on the
you
sleeve,
know?
yeah.
So,
Right on the sleeve.
and at that point, you haven't experienced enough to know what true, misfortune is. Like, you know, everything's
Yeah.
relative. So, like,
Right.
when my worst day was when I fell off the chair and got a boo-boo.
Right.
Basically, you just, like, murdered my family in front of me. That's the worst thing I've ever experienced. You know, it's all relative.
For sure.
You making me take that nap earlier was
He has
a day
no-
y'all never
That was
forget.
just-
It's a day y'all never
He has no
forget.
perspective. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Like
That's despicable.
what can truly be painful. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has no gauge. Like once you get a whole bank of experiences and you're like, wow, you know, I've had way worse than this.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
I also think, like letting kids play and get hurt,
Absolutely.
get a little bit hurt, like, they
Yeah.
got to learn for themselves, you know?
Yeah, I've heard the argument that you have to, like, when they're throwing tantrums, you kind of have to let them do that a little bit when they're young,
Yeah.
because if you don't, like, they never learn how to just avoid that. They haven't learned to process that
Yeah.
and realize that it's not effective,
They
right?
got to learn to get themselves out of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll just keep repeating it over time if you, like, constantly try to totally dismiss that behavior, right? So, like, a lot of times when Jackson's, like, really throwing a fit, I won't be like, hey, like, shut up. Like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I'll try my best to be like, just hold him and say, like, just immediately give him the sense that he's safe.
Yeah.
Instead
Alright,
of just trying to say, like, hey, shut up, like, that was your fault. Just trying to explain it to him.
Yeah.
That's not what he needs. He needs to just know that I'm here and that we're gonna be okay. But he doesn't need to hear it most of the time. He just needs you to be present,
Right.
and then he can work
Yeah.
through it most of the time.
Just like, you're all right, buddy.
Yeah.
You're good. Come on.
Which is why it's so terrifying to think of parents like, all right, I'm gonna put the kid in the bedroom in the crib for 4 hours
Yeah.
and go cook some
Dude,
crack or
I-
something. You know what I mean? It's like I feel.
cook some crack
Imagine
or something.
all the fucking kids in the world, or just even locally, more locally, like all the people in fucking Colombia
Yeah.
who like just don't get the attention they really need when they're a fucking kid. And I know this is like, you know, fucking you hear
I
this
think
all the
that's beautiful,
time.
though. Like, you're a young father actually, like, seeing that
Cares.
firsthand.
Yeah.
You know?
Like how detrimental it can be just to be totally ignored when
like-
you're that age. Like it's terrible.
Like, so many of those things seem cliche and you're hearing them all the time, but when you actually experience it and the truth hits you and you're like, oh, those words mean something to me.
Hell
now.
yeah.
right.
That's beautiful. I think that's all.
Yeah.
I admire you, Quinn, Shamik, like all of my friends. Dude, I admire you guys so. Y'all are all good fathers, great fathers.
Right. Oh, dude, it's tough.
Keeping
I mean,
it together, trying your best. You know, it's awesome. I love. Like, I'm so excited. Like, seeing you guys makes me so excited to have kids, man. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
It's definitely fun and rewarding, but at the same time, like it's a lot of sacrifice. Like I can't, like I would have, if I would have, say I didn't have Jackson, right, or it was just me and Hannah, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to Stillhand, see you later. You know what I mean? But like
Well, that,
when he's around, you can't just be like, all
Yeah,
right, I'm
this.
going, peace. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just got to do different. You got to
See, that's what I hit at work, and that way it's
address
just super
those
light.
responsibilities.
Yeah, for
Keeps me
sure.
moving, keeps my mood up.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine having a kid right now.
No.
I can't even take care of myself for real.
Yeah, that's my big thing. Is I need to I really need to buckle down. I need to, you know, I can't be eating out every single day. I can't be
I haven't-
drinking 10 beers every night. You gotta.
See, I have a different perspective than that. Right? I think that a lot of times when you put yourself in the territory that demands more from you,
Right.
you have to
That's very
respond.
true.
Yeah.
That's very
So
true.
it's not like, oh, I'm not ready. And it's like, well, bitch, get ready.
Yeah,
But
you know
it's-
what I mean?
you have no option.
Yeah.
You have to get ready.
That is the truth, but when you're talking about raising a child, that's a scary risk to take.
Yeah, for sure.
To just
And-
bank on, I'll get it together.
And obviously
I'll be good.
that mode and method of thinking is not
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Like right now, if it happened, I could handle it, but it would set me back so far. It would
Right.
be tough. But like, then again, what is a setback? At the end of the day, the goal is to raise a good family.
Right.
If the family's, if you're having to live cheaper because you have a kid, there's no setback.
And if you get caught up in what you think you need, what do you really fucking need?
Right.
Like what you really need that kid to be happy.
Right.
And obviously, it makes it easier if you're in certain positions. But, dude, none of the niceties are necessary. You know what I mean? When me and Jackson are laughing, it's not because, oh, we ate some good fucking grass-fed beef tonight. Nah, it's because we are together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we're not hungry. So check it off the list.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
So,
And
like-
honestly, just the fact that you can look at your own tendencies and admit to yourself that you need to change things, you're probably in the right path. You know, you'd probably be the one who would pull it together.
Yeah.
Just because you can evaluate yourself in that way.
it makes it
A
easier.
lot of people like go about life blind. They're like, I got no problems, and they're fucked
Well,
up.
that's because they don't have anybody who's responsible enough to say otherwise.
right.
Because it takes someone confronting you 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
takes something like happening to you, like, you know, oh, like someone caught you doing something you weren't supposed to do. And it, like,
Yeah.
now it's like come to fruition that you have to address the situation or something, whatever it might be.
Right.
Like, it takes someone actually saying something to you. And if you never have anybody to do that, then you're never going to be in that mode of like, I need
Yeah.
to self-correct.
Also, I think that's one of the biggest benefits of like public school is that kids are forced to be independent and have to go through that social thing on their own in a safe, relatively safe environment with public school. Relatively. But like, no, I think that independence for kids is such a valuable thing for them to like learn that like, okay, some people don't like what I do. You know, some people can be annoyed.
Right.
Where if you're
right.
homeschooled and all you ever interact with is your
Yeah.
parents, like you don't get that.
Man, I learned that from an early age. I don't know if you guys had that one, because I always had a decently big personality. Like, I like to talk to people. I like to, like, you know, do
Yeah.
whatever, even from a young age. So I had friends and enemies in the class. Like, I can remember, like, I could tell you a name right now. I'm not going to, but, like, I could tell you 2 or 3 names right now from 3rd grade. It was like, man, they're my fucking mortal enemy.
Yeah.
I don't even know what am I even getting at right now. But anyway,
Just like as a kid, not being able to have the perspective to really parse through, like, he borrowed my crayon, and now he is my mortal enemy. Like, it's that.
you know, some people just try to make your life hell. Like, they just try to be
that's
mean
true.
to
I mean,
you
there's bullies.
constantly.
There's
Yeah.
bullies. Sometimes you need bullies.
It
Right.
would piss me out though if someone ever broke my eraser or like the little clip on my lead pencils. Like,
That's so annoying.
those shits were so annoying.
That's for me to break.
That's one of the pet peeves.
You inevitably break it.
Hand someone
Yes.
a pencil
Every
and they give
time.
it back and it's all fucking chewed up and damn broken. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, dude, if I let
Found this
someone,
on the ground, didn't you?
if I let somebody borrow my pencil and they chew on it,
How dare you?
nah,
Yeah,
bro, that's
it's happened.
foul, dog. That's foul.
What's the adult equivalent of that?
What is what?
What's the adult equivalent? Like, you borrowed my lawnmower and you shat on it? I don't know.
You asked to use my bathroom and you shit in my floor. That's basically what that's the equivalent of. He was like, "Can I use your bathroom?" I'm like, "Sure."
I have. This is an anomalous story that is similar to this. Okay, one time, this is when I first moved to Clemson. Okay,
Talking about shit on the floor?
no, listen. Listen.
Listen.
Okay,
It's
so
deeper
I was.
than that.
It was the first semester I was at Clemson. I had just met my new roommate, Phil Satterfield. Phil,
Phil
haven't seen you in
Satterfield.
forever. I love you, dude. Wish I could see you. Whatever. Anyway,
Phil was cool.
but anyway, we both got hammered drunk one night, and we kind of drank together at the start of the night, and then we slowly, went our separate ways and talked to
Yeah.
different people. We both came back to our apartment, and I was fucking hammered. I barely remember coming into my room that night, and I knew he was shit-faced, okay? And the next morning, I wake up, and I was like, holy fucking shit. I felt terrible. I went to the bathroom, took a piss. I was like, went to my shorts drawer to get a pair of shorts, right? It's where I keep, like, my, gym shorts and
Yeah.
some boxers or
Yeah.
whatever. And I was like, why is this wet? Why is this fucking wet? And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, did I spill some beer in here or something? And I, like, picked it up and I, like, raised it to my nose and I sniffed it. Straight urine. Straight urine. I have no recollection of peeing in there, okay? But here's the thing. Phil is known to piss in erratic places when he gets drunk. And he has Yes, and he has no recollection of this either.
What
He
kind of reputation is that?
dude, it's college. You get drunk, people know about it. You know what I mean? It's like
I pissed on the floor before. 'cause I was
Exactly.
drunk up there.
I don't think I've ever had a drunk friend piss anywhere that wasn't outside or in a bathroom.
dude, no.
And I've been around Dama.
It's happening, dude. It happened, dude.
It happens.
It happened. He pissed. Someone, Philip Satterfield, pissed in my underwear drawer. I will never admit that was me.
Yeah.
I've never been drunk enough to piss myself. I don't think ever.
I haven't, but I know a lot of people personally that
I
have.
mean, I've puked on myself plenty of
I've
times.
known people who have got
That-
drunk
yeah.
and shit themselves.
I'm a puker. I'm not a shitter.
Right. if you shit on yourself while you're drunk, bro, why are you
Yes,
drinking?
yes.
Why are you drinking?
Yeah. You're too
It's
far
those
gone.
stories where I'm like, maybe I don't have a problem. Maybe I'm all right. Maybe.
Yeah, I've
Hear a
never.
story about this guy who downs like a pint of liquor every 2 hours, and it was like, yeah, he thinks he's okay. I'm like, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm okay. Maybe I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I could always be worse. I
Yeah,
could always be
I'm not
worse.
like- my worst nights are like I stumbled to the bed.
Yeah.
It's typically my worst night.
I don't have a lot of bad nights either. I don't really throw up that much either. Like when I
Yeah.
drink a lot.
I've been down fucking bad.
Oh, I've been there, but like nowadays, my problem is just getting stumbly a little bit too often. But like I've been rough. There's been some-
Sick.
We've
Nice,
all
dude.
been there. I feel like we all of us have been
Or
there.
young fellas
Yeah.
who lived the dorm life at one point.
Yeah.
Oh,
You used to serve me a mellow mushroom when I was
Hell yeah.
20 years old. You're part of the problem.
How dare you?
You alright?
Hell, right?
He gave me a fake ID. I thought he was 21. I don't know what he's talking about.
Man, I went into your place of establishment one time and you was like, I gotta check ID, just make it look. I gave you a student ID.
Dude,
It's like my high school student ID. You're like, yeah.
what the hell, bro?
Even Blake will tell you to this day, nobody would suck them back like me.
I never seen somebody come in there and drink so many IPAs.
So
like-
quickly.
Dude,
I've had a couple people come in and really drink some beer, and people go in and sit at the bar and drink. But like as far as like coming in and sitting down, and I was serving them food and they were drinking, yeah, you would definitely. But it wasn't nothing crazy, like 4 beers. But
Yeah.
most people don't. Most 90%.
with a meal, it's like 1 or 2.
Well, I'll say like 70% get like 1, and then 95% get 2.
See, I love
Like you'll cover 95% of people in that 1 to 2 range. But then you have people that drink like 4. That's like, okay, wow, this guy's, he's drinking.
I love
Okay, wow, you know.
hitting a restaurant and ordering a beer and getting the first one down and then getting the second one with your food.
Right,
Ooh,
that's the
that
money.
is the sweet
That's the
spot,
money.
man. I love
That's
that.
the money for sure.
So you gotta plan things out.
You gotta plan things ahead, man.
You can't just be willy nilly
Like this
ordering
man with his
beers.
dough.
Yeah.
This man mixes up dough, puts no timer on. I'm like, how long's that dough been sitting there? 20, 30.
40 minutes.
It's probably ready for a fold. No shit.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Gotta plan ahead, dude. But I'm OCD.
I need to
like,
get better at that. See, I'm not. I've
I
always
obsess. No, I'm not like OCD. Like this picture frame's got to be perfect. I'm like
Right.
obsessive compulsive. Like I compulsively obsess about everything.
been. Yeah.
Everything. I like, dude. That's why I've gotten so good at pizza so quick.
Right.
I've been obsessed with it. Dude, I wake up and turn on pizza cooking shows. Like I wake up and I'm like, "What's the Italian guy doing today?
Right.
Show me how to make that Neapolitan." I love it.
See, I'm almost like on the opposite end where I'm kind of more relaxed. Like I've always been that way where I'm more like, just go with the flow. Like try to, make everything fit together smoothly and not try to push too much. Like obviously I have my moments where I'm like need to go, but I try to be more like relaxed and laid back.
Yeah.
I try to be. But obviously there's positives and negatives to both.
I love cooking food with you. We'll just have shit in front of us, be like, oh, Got some beer? You want to throw some beer? Yeah, throw it in there. Yeah, some hot sauce. Yeah, let's just throw it on top
Well,
of
but
bacon.
me and you are both people who cook very regularly,
Yeah.
and then we kind of we aren't super like you got to do it this way.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
the
not
thing
super
is-
like that, so we'll just try some shit on a whim,
And it's usually fucking
right?
delicious.
Yeah, it usually works out well.
I love when
Yeah.
y'all try stuff.
Yeah,
With dough, it's chemistry.
It's more of an
You
Bacon-
have to be more
Baking
like,
is so much more precise.
it's literally chemistry.
There's
It
no
is
Right.
rules to
straight
like
up
cooking,
science.
but the bacon there's
Yeah.
definitely rules.
So with bacon, like
Right.
you can't just be winging.
it's not
shit.
like when
It's-
you're cooking a sauce where you can taste it, like, oh, that needs
Yeah.
a little bit of salt.
Yeah.
It's like, well, once it's done, it's done. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
You
It's
can't
hard. It
add
can't really
something.
taste
Yeah.
it as you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Can't
you
really
mix it.
add.
Yeah.
But then the more you get into dough, and the more that I've been obsessing so much, because the more you start to understand how the different things affect the final product, then you can start experimenting once you get a grip on like,
What the
all
fuck-
right, if I
what's
add
going on.
5 more grams of salt, how does that affect it?
Right.
If I let it proof an extra 30 minutes at this point, how does that affect it? But once you got, it's like they say like the rule, you got to learn the rules before you can break them.
Exactly.
Like with any
that's
art,
that's
yeah,
a good point.
It's very similar with bread.
You
for
gotta
sure.
learn the rules so you can
Yeah.
break them. Right. That's a good point. Is our camera still rolling?
Yeah, that's what I got on flip.
Oh, did you?
Switched it,
Okay,
yeah.
sweet. Okay. But yeah, that's a good motto, honestly. You got a, not motto, but
Yeah.
nice little line.
That's the one-liner.
Yeah. I'm not very good at one-line jokes.
One-line jokes is just.
I'm super envious of people who are really good at that.
I'm very quickly gonna separate that dough into 2 balls, so we're not waiting
Oh,
I'm gonna help you.
waiting too long.
Yeah,
And then we
dude.
can pause this. We can jump back. Start this conversation.
Oh man. He's one of those motherfuckers that it's okay to talk bad about because he's far more successful than all of us.
I'll be honest. To be serious, my issue is that he bites everybody's flows.
Really?
He steals everybody's
so?
cadence
Like
and
what?
like he'll hear a rapper that he likes. He'll hop on a beat that's similar and hit it with the same cadence. He just bites flows like crazy.
Like what artist has he done that to?
I know he did it to XXX. I know that's a famous example because he's also responsible for XXX's murder.
What?
Yeah, he's the one
What?
who got
Oh no.
Holy.
Yeah.
What happened
He's
there?
got a song where he talks like they break it down and he like rhymes up some numbers and if you break down it sounds conspiratorial, but he apparently like breaks up some numbers in a verse and the numbers if you break them down it's 10 10 10 which is XXX, and then he says if you would have shut your mouth, if you would have closed your mouth on that live, you'd still be alive.
Is that for real?
Says, yeah, that's a verse.
What
That's
song is that
In
on
a
there?
Dre. Oh,
Damn.
yeah,
That's
so that's
crazy.
also one reason I don't like him is because fucking XXX was the best. And do you realize, dude? He was what?
He had a lot of
He
fans.
was what, like 18?
He had a lot of fans.
When he died?
I think he was
I think
like,
he was like
no,
20.
he was 20.
He was
yeah.
like 20
I think he
or
was
Dude,
20.
imagine how long ago? 5 more years of the level he was putting out, dude. He'd be same thing with Mac, man. How far he could have gone if he was, how far he progressed in the time he was
Yeah.
up there.
Dude, his last 2 albums, last 3 were just, they were musical works of art. Like they were truly they
It's so sad. To
he
see
moved
young
to-
artists perish. Man.
It's so cool.
Sad.
But what's so cool about Mac is that he transcended genre. Like when I see somebody
Yeah.
transcend a genre, like a particular genre, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
you've truly risen above because now you
I can't
don't
wait to
access
see.
the people who just are fans of your genre. You access
Yeah.
society more broadly and culture more broadly.
I can't wait to
And
see
that's
what
what
Lil
he did.
Yachty keeps doing. Dude, I love Lil Yachty's latest
Yeah.
album.
I haven't listened to it.
It's straight Pink Floyd.
What?
Straight up Pink Floyd. He literally like admits, he was like, yeah, that's the Dark Side of the Moon. Like straight up. Like I was fully inspired by that. He was dropping like 10 tabs a weekend.
Oh,
He was like, I got a sheet and had like 2,000 tabs. He was like, so I was in the void for a while. He did Duncan Trussell's podcast. And
Did he
talked
really?
talked about the album. He even talked about Midnight Gospel influencing him. Like, yeah, I love it. I can't wait to see what he does next, man.
Lil Yachty.
Tyler,
just
the Creator, too.
Yeah, Tyler's good,
Apparently,
too.
his next album's gonna be disco.
really?
Bro, I can't wait. Do you know like
If anybody
like,
can make disco cool,
I
it's
thought you
fucking
wanted to
Tyler the
dance.
Creator.
Yeah.
on the latest, I thought you wanted to dance and like is it What's Your Name? I can't remember. But dude, they're so good and just like dance music. Oh my god, I cannot wait to see what Tyler puts out again.
Yeah, he's super talented.
Yeah, he's talented as fuck too.
Man, it's somehow like it's so weird how
And he's fully
someone.
self-made.
Yeah, and it's someone. That's what I was kind of say. It was like it's weird how if someone is surrounded by a studio and a bunch of people around them telling them exactly what to do and exactly what to say, it's like way kind of easier that way. Not easier that way. It's just like
Well, it's a system.
so much more
You're following a play.
difficult than like following your own path.
Like yeah, with the corporate shit, you're following a guideline to make
Right.
money. You're following a marketable guideline to make money.
Like Elvis. Like take Elvis for instance.
Fuck Elvis.
Dude, come on, that man. He was.
You want to talk about biting flows? But then again, if it weren't for Elvis blowing up, there would have never been that light shined onto the black community that was making that music.
Yeah, right. I don't.
So there's always positives, but dude, fuck Elvis.
You should never just rip someone off and not
Hate
give.
Elvis.
You should not ever rip someone off and not give them credit. Like you know what I mean. You should
Yeah.
but I think you should in a free world. And if we're really truly trying to build, we should be able to use things, and it should be easy to use other people's things, as long as you in some way give them credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's hard to do that. That's why it's so
well, that's
technical.
written into the laws. It's called fair use.
Right.
Like there's absolutely ways that you can get around
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And there's
yeah.
ways that you can use things, but again, it's about having credit. If you just steal it and try to claim it as your own,
Right.
that's never going to be correct.
Right.
It's always going to be wrong. I don't know. I'm an artist, so I feel strongly about these.
But
things.
Elvis is that good example of someone who was like, all right, shut the fuck up, and this is what you're gonna do, and this is what you're gonna fucking say. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the perfect example. Like one of the as opposed to someone who is just like, fuck that noise, I'm gonna do it myself with my own shit, and no one's gonna tell me what to
Also-
do or say. Like that is totally different.
Imagine being the first person ever to be world famous.
Right.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Was he one of the first people, like individuals, to buy like a fucking huge ass jet? Like he had to be.
I think so.
He had to be.
But there's also, individual. But I don't know, because there's Rockefeller. What about that family?
Dude, but yet, Jets. He was like at the
I'm saying
right
the
when
I'm
Elvis
not
was
talking-
famous. That was right at the time when Jets actually became a
Yeah.
commercial
Oh, you're
thing.
saying like the first person. Yeah.
Right, like because
But yeah, we think about like him because he's super famous. What about like the fucking Jeff Bezos of that time? What about the oil barons and
right.
shit like that?
Like they had some crazy shit too.
Yeah. And that money's still in those families.
Oh yeah,
That money is still in those families.
That's generational wealth.
dude. You know what's
Those are the people who control everything.
everything in this country pretty much has been built within the last 200.
400.
Let's call it, yeah.
400
That's
400.
probably
About 1600.
Because St. Augustine was about
about
1600, so we'll say 400 years. There are buildings like in Italy, France, Spain, all thousands of years old, and then there's another select few that are tens of thousands of years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah, it's wild.
But then again, think about all the stuff they're talking about in the Amazon, where they're like, with LiDAR, they're trying to uncover so many like old past civilizations that have gotten covered over by dirt and time.
I'd like to see how far that's come because I know they've been doing that for years now.
Yeah, I
I
have
wonder
no
how far
idea.
they've covered because I'm like that's been.
I know they found a lot of
for
shit.
while.
I don't know if there's evidence to support the 20 million people or something like that they were talking about. They were. I've heard that number before. 20 million
Who knows,
people.
a lot.
It's a
But
lot
also
of
think
people.
about how fertile that place is.
It is very fertile.
Like
And I've heard someone explain that the Amazonian rainforest
it's cultivated
it's preferential to fruiting trees.
because of the people who live there.
Exactly,
They farm
like-
so much that like a giant percentage of
Isn't
the
that wild?
rainforest is like the domesticated fruit trees, like shit that they were harvesting and using
Right.
and farming. And
Yeah.
There's no telling how long that stretches. Like we
That's-
want to talk about the beginning of agriculture. There's no telling how long they were doing that because when you're doing fruit trees, that's not like planting a row of fucking corn.
No, those
you
are
can
those
you
are
can-
perennial.
Yeah, like you can
Those are
still
perennial, yeah.
like that seems much more attainable for somebody who's still like hunter gatherer stage, to just find a few trees and then just kind of come back to that area.
Or even if you're like a person like I'm being from South Carolina, I know some places where I can find some like persimmons and blackberries.
Yeah.
Like I know where I can find them. Like I can go find if I go at the right time of year, especially like for blackberries, like right now in June and July.
I ate some when I was at
Yeah.
the house.
You can go out and find a big ass patch of blackberries, and you can get a bunch of berries. So like even if you like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
we've been doing that for probably hundreds of thousands of years.
I wonder if that's how we began to understand agriculture, is by
Yeah.
happening to find certain fruiting plants in
Yeah.
certain areas.
Like we got to stay close to these fucking
and then
plants.
the
Because-
more we stick into that area, and the more we try to like nurture these plants to produce for us, the more we start to understand how plants work.
Hmm.
And I mean, maybe that's how fucking agriculture sparked. Maybe that's how the whole thing started. They just found they're foraging and they're like,
Yeah.
shit, this place is fertile as hell. There's plenty like, look, we got to come here every spring or whatever. And like
Right.
they just start to learn the landscape.
come to the
and they
grasslands.
That's crazy to think about.
Ah man, I'm so fascinated by the origins of human culture like that. It's so interesting to me because it's way more united than we like to think. And I wish we could paint a more cohesive and global picture of our history because it's so fragmented right now. Because like China has their, they have their history,
Yeah.
and the Middle East has its history,
Exactly.
and the New World has its history, and Europe has its history, and Africa has its history. But they've all been commingling for God knows how long. God only knows how long. So I wonder I wish we had a more global
Yeah.
view because when you take it in college in the United States, they call it like modern world. They call it, and it's basically the study of like, Christopher Columbus on
Yeah.
and
Modern
man,
history versus ancient history.
right? God, dude, I
Yes.
love history and
I do
that
too.
shit. I love talking about
It's
it.
so funny because in high school, I hate history. If I'm in class, I hate history. It's my least favorite subject. But when you're talking about actual history and not trying to study for a test, I love history. It's wild how school literally makes us hate learning.
Well, it builds our vocabulary. That's what I think. That's a large part of school is like it just builds your vocabulary so you can talk about these things.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that base,
It's a jumping off point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think in when they're teaching you in school, they don't expect you to like be professional and make like groundbreaking arguments or
Right.
anything. They just want to show that you can somewhat understand and use it, and eventually hopefully you'll keep building upon that.
Right. I mean, like algebra and shit. Like kids are always like, when am I going to use this? Why do I need this? And then Chastain always had the best comeback for that. He was like, you might not use algebra on a daily basis when you're an adult, but it's teaching you to figure things out.
Right.
Like, it's the process of taking something that you don't know and aren't familiar with and learning how to do it is what it's all about. And then, school applies that to things that make society a little bit better. But financial studies in school would be very nice.
I always kind of liked school.
I know
Did y'all like
nothing.
going to school?
I love school.
It's cool. School.
I love college.
It was
I loved college. I hated high school. But once I got out of the forceful, this high school, you have to go every day, 8 a.m. And then you get to college and it's more relaxed.
Way
I don't got to
more
show
laid
up to
back.
class until 10.
Yeah.
I got an hour between class. I ain't got to go today.
Right.
I'll take a day off.
And then shit popped off on Zoom for COVID, so we could just be chilling in the house. They're like, just exactly like this. Like, well, yeah, that is interesting.
right.
I never take notes.
Dude, I
I did
didn't
in college
I
for
never
sure.
take notes.
I didn't take notes in college.
I studied art, so that's not fair. I shouldn't say. I never take notes.
Bro, I'd always get notes from somebody else. Let me take a photo of your notes. And I'm like, all right.
Whatever, Devin.
I've had several classes where I've written down almost everything the professor written down.
Really?
When you're taking like organic chemistry,
Yeah, you
Yeah,
had
that
you-
makes
you were
sense.
feeling
you
it.
better be fucking
I mean,
writing.
when I was taking core curriculum, you got to get through your basic sciences and
Right.
stuff and language and get all that out of the way in college. Yeah, I definitely took more notes than that because like if I'm not interested in it, I'm not going to retain it. But as soon as I'm interested in it, my memory
It's way
latches on so quickly.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, college is weird because it gives you a knowledge, but a lot of it, especially with what I was doing, was not easily applicable to everyday life because I was learning about, biology and chemistry, and that's like almost kind of, it's not theoretical, but it's theoretical in its daily application. Like how can you affect your atoms? You can't directly. Or, I mean, you can directly, but it's really not really obvious to, I think, everyday people. It's hard for me to even understand it as a person who studied biochemistry.
Yeah.
It's like I can barely even try to understand it, much less someone who hasn't even been exposed
with
to
Quinn
it.
and astrophysics and like how much
Right,
he's
like I have
delved deep into the understandings of physics. Like technically that applies to your everyday life.
Right.
Technically, but
Right.
like, you can't really do much with that other than
Exactly.
just have a better understanding of everything.
As
around
opposed
you.
to like working a job like you or working with like the well drillers
Yeah.
the well people who install wells or the metal workers. It's like they learn shit that is directly fundamentally useful.
Well, it's a trade.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
why a trade is different than white collar.
Right.
I don't even know. That's probably not even the best way to describe that.
Yeah. There's different dude. But like Shane, like he is a tradesman. Like he is good at grading. But you can make a lot of fucking
A lot
money.
of money.
Especially
With a Bobcat and a little excavator, dude. You got a business right there.
but the thing is your team. Like how good is your team?
Yeah. And how good are you?
How good are you?
How good are you at managing? Because it's not you might can go grade a lot. You might can grade that lot perfectly, but can you manage to tell a crew to go grade that lot?
Right.
And can you train them to trust them to do it as good as you would?
That's how you start growing a larger and more profitable company.
Dude, I
It's
could
like,
not imagine having employees.
I know, it's kind of
Oh my
scary,
God.
right? Yeah.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
I would love to eventually to help train somebody. Man,
I'm struggle taking care of me and my girlfriend. I don't want
Yeah.
employees.
Yeah.
I don't want a contracted business where it's like if you fuck up, you could lose everything.
well, you have to pay them.
Ooh, that's rough.
You have to pay them.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I don't. We're not talking about slaves. What do you mean?
You have to pay them. You have to.
In marijuana, you just live and leave.
I mean, whatever the agreement is, man.
Yeah.
We should bring back bartering.
That's the agreement. I
should be able to walk into Walmart with
You can. What's stopping
that
you?
picture frame and be like, "Can I trade this for a Pepsi?"
Oh.
You're gonna need some food, like a cow or
I'm
something.
saying like bartering.
I think you're defining a pawn shop. Right?
They don't sell produce at the pawn shop.
At the pawn shop.
It's a car wash.
No, the pawn shop.
They sell guns and ammo and Playboys at the pawn shop.
Playboy. Oh, well, we know where Kadin goes to the pawn shop now.
I actually haven't been to a pawn shop in a while.
Bro, the one in Buffalo
Trigger
got
play.
the one in Buffalo got a little fucking liquor store attached to it. That shit nice as hell. You
Oh,
go,
I like that.
you go to the
What's
pawn shop. You go to the pawn shop, get you a chain and a bottle of liquor.
You want good whiskey?
You ready to go?
You want good whiskey in Union? Go to that red and white store behind Main Street, across from where they'll be doing the barbecue, like right by
I
that
know
car wash
exactly
right there.
what
That
you're
guy
talking
has
about.
an insane whiskey collection.
He does.
He's got bottles in there that are from years of dust, collecting dust. He's got some gems in there. He carries like Bookers and like Basil Head, like all of the nice shit that you can't find in Union. That literally, I mean, if you go to a liquor store in Union, you got Fireball.
Small batch Basil Hayden's.
Yeah, he has those.
I don't fucking know what that is. I don't have no fucking clue. I've never
That's like
tasted that. I've never seen the bottle. I don't fucking
Like
know.
Balcones. You're not gonna find Balcones in fucking Union.
What is that?
The blue corn, the shit that we were tasting last time.
Yeah.
Like
Probably
but
not.
He has everything.
Yeah.
Word.
He has good scotch too. It's
Damn.
wild.
I'll have to
And then
check
you
it
go
out.
to
I
like
remember
the
that.
pawn shop one, and he's got Jameson.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
I don't even think he has
That's
scotch
a bit-
in that place. He's got like Dewars,
That's the best you're gonna get is Jamie in here.
That's the scotch that you see is
the white label
Dewars.
Dewars.
Yeah.
Which is a good,
Sell
delicious
the
scotch.
gun you just stole to the pawn shop and pop it into the liquor store with the cash you just acquired.
Sorry, you got me nerding on whiskey a little. My bad.
Nah, it's fine. Shit.
I love whiskey.
I'm not a big whiskey guy.
Dude, I wonder if my truck's burnt to the ground.
No, it's fine.
This is Chevrolet.
Can you see it?
Do you realize it's the hottest when we're cooking the pizza? It's just gotten cooler. Why are you worried about your truck on fire? It literally, from the time the pizza comes out of the oven, it's just gotten cooler and cooler and cooler. The most dangerous time is when we're out there cooking pizza.
I'm just saying, it seems like a decent thing to be concerned about, don't
I
you?
thought it was snowing.
You're like, nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about your truck being on fire. Don't worry about it.
Podcast, bro. Fuck that truck.
I need my truck.
Hell, we know the fire department's right there.
Hell yeah.
Bro, they would see the smoke and be like, we should check that out. That's it. They've noticed before we did.
Run the fucking hose straight through the damn apartment window, bust the window and everything.
Climb up the balcony.
Oh my gosh.
We're shooting this podcast. Firefighters bust through that door. They climb up the balcony.
It'd be like the podcast version of getting swatted.
It's by firemen.
It's a good opportunity to let Jackson get in the fire truck.
Yeah.
That is true.
It's a good opportunity to let Jackson ride the fire truck.
I'm sure he would love that.
Or be terrified.
Should I just walk his ass over there and be like, hey, can he ride the truck?
I'm pretty sure that used to be a thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of those guys would actually like that. I think some of them be like, no, don't bother me. And some would be like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, let me show them.
That'd be cool.
Put out.
I live right beside the fire department in Santuc for like
Really?
18 years. Yeah, so I'd go over there when I was a kid too. They'd be over there, but they'd be like, "I'm getting in the truck."
I don't know how I don't
"Fuck
know.
yeah."
You want to get in the
I
truck?
don't know how I don't know my Santuc brethren.
All three of y'all are Santa boys.
Yeah, we are.
How do we not, like, this is wild.
I don't live there anymore. I moved. I do live.
The pond behind the fire department, that's my pond.
Really?
Yeah.
I fished at that pond before.
Feel free.
I fished at that pond
Dude, absolutely,
before.
feel free. We
That's
let anybody
fine.
fish in that pond. All we ever say is, if you ask us, it's cool. But you obviously didn't. But no, it's straight. Like,
I used to
it's
just
fun.
go walk through the woods back there and everything. I'm like, wonder whose pond this is.
Yeah, it was my pond. Small world. That's wild. Then we're in Santa, or we were in Columbia.
I've been to that one, and I've been to the one on Gilmore Road.
Yeah.
Like on the actual Gilmore
Yeah,
Road
yeah.
in the woods.
That one was grown up with like lily pads for a long, fully overgrown.
Oh yeah.
But it's pretty clean now. There's some bad beaver problem over on that one though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Go hunt some beefs.
You used to go down.
I mean, not like super bad, but not great. There's some beaver activity.
I used to go down to the creek down there, Santo Two Creek, smoke bowls.
Oh my God.
I'd be like, Mom, Dad, I'm going for a walk. Have a little spoon pipe in my pocket.
Dude, smoking weed, I miss that. To
my
be
God.
honest, like, I love the freedom of being able to smoke whenever, wherever, and like everything's cool. But I kind of miss like the thrill you get when you're like sneaking back home high, and you're like, I hope they don't notice.
I
Let me
hate
grab
I
12
hate
of these
that.
cookies real
I
quick.
hate that.
Yeah, I just wanted to fucking relax.
Or like in college when you gotta like sneak out of the dorm. Like at SMC, we would go to the bridge and we would go under the bridge, and that's where we would all smoke. And I drove past that the other day, and it's literally like, here's the college, and at that door is where we would sneak under the bridge. And I'm like, everybody knew what was going on. Everybody knew it, but
You can smell it.
You thought you were being sneaky though in the moment.
yeah. Well, when you're already a little bit high, and you're like, let's go get another one, and you're like.
Man, no, I'm avoiding all conflict. That's what I'm doing.
Just kind of in hindsight, like I do miss that for real. Of being like, ooh.
I hate going home high. My parents are still awake. Yeah. Nah, bro. I don't like dealing with that.
Oh,
Isn't it crazy that it's
my
still a
dad
thing?
smokes, so it's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a thing though, like, you know, in South Carolina where it's not really totally socially acceptable to just be blazing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't want to. I hate going outside. I hate being in public eye. I hate it.
It depends on what I'm doing.
Contrary to what I just said, but I hate it. I hate like the anxiety. I hate it. If I'm high, I want to be on the couch.
If I'm not doing something, I'll smoke a little bit. If I go to a restaurant or some shit like that, you know. But doing like just regular events high, yeah, nah. A bunch of people, nah.
Nah, I hate it.
Nah.
I hate it. I'm already so anxious, especially like I'm so socially anxious. I don't want that. That sucks.
Dude,
It makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
That's my problem with alcohol, because that eases it. It's the opposite. I'm anxious all the time. You get a couple beers, I'm leveled out. That's my struggle.
Dude, a lot of people use it, I mean, as their medication, their
Yeah.
daily medication, dude.
Yeah.
For sure. Same thing with weed. Like people do the same thing with weed.
My biggest like medicinal use of weed is for sure to go to sleep.
Right. That's a
sure
biggie
to
for a
go
lot of
sleep.
people. Yeah.
That's fucking pot brownie the other night. It knocked me. I'm talking about. Wow. I was dead for like 10 hours.
I love it when you're like 3 hours into an edible and you just open, you're like, oh.
I
am high.
I got 30.
I love
like
that
30
feeling.
minutes in. I got like 30 minutes in and I was done. I was like asleep.
They don't get me. I'm like, I'm one of the people like, it's like a thing. Like some people are just less susceptible. I don't know.
It seems like the microdosing also of mushrooms and acid is really popular nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like that
Yeah.
just above threshold dose. People love that.
Yeah.
But nah, first time I did edibles, he made them, and they fucked me up.
Yeah.
I was out of commission for 2 days.
They don't get me. They don't get me.
Dude.
Like I've never been. I mean, except that night we were watching the fights, but I've never been like just completely zoned out on it.
It's so
They don't get
weird
me like
how
that.
differently they can affect people to
Yeah.
people.
Because
Like,
some people are like 20 milligrams, and I'm woozy, like I'm
Yeah.
out of it, and I'm like, dude, I'm 200.
body
I'm like,
gets locked.
do I feel it?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure.
And then some people's their whole body locks up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That fucking, I don't know if people, anybody's experienced like that body lock that some really strong
I've never
edibles will give
gotten
you.
that far.
Bro, I felt like really cold. I was like shirting, but I was like,
That's the body
I was
lock.
like, I was panicking and shit though too. I was having panic attacks. Like
Yeah.
I'd never been that high before. Like it was the highest I've ever been in my life.
It can be way more intense than smoking it. Now you should be careful with edible. I would treat them more like a psychedelic, dude. Honestly.
Yeah, for me, it's just
Because-
not even close.
Bro,
See, and then some people, it's like this. They're not as heavily affected.
Fucking 3 pot brownies and then I'd probably be tired.
Yeah.
if I ate 3 pot brownies, I'd probably be in the bottom of your shower, fucking.
Oh, I for sure would.
Y'all would be cuddling in the tub, and we'd be watching Sledgehammer.
Warm me, Devin.
Blake, are you okay? No, are you?
Warm me.
No.
Bro, I think I need to go to the hospital.
Blake, I got this spider bite on my back, man. I'm dying.
You just got bit by a poisonous spider, dog. We need to rush you to the emergency room immediately.
They ate the same edibles and shit. They're out here just chilling. Like, you guys get on there?
Shut the fuck up.
We're going to the ER.
Y'all will be fine.
Why, bro?
Bro, it was like that night. Caden, he was just like, "I think it's time to go to bed, Devin." And I was like, "Sure." Caden cut everything off, and that's when it just smacked me. I was like, "Holy fuck!" I was like, "I am fucking high." I was like, "Caden."
So
I
ridiculous,
was like,
man.
"Caden, can I go take a shower?" He's like, "Yeah, go for it." He was like,
Weed is dangerous. It can be dangerous, man.
Yeah.
It can be
Bro,
rough.
I've had some bad highs before. I've had a couple bad highs, definitely.
Yeah.
I think we need to be objective about the drugs. Like we have to be. Like
Yeah.
and that's the problem. People aren't objective about like
Well, the
the
biggest thing
opiates or the benzos. Like even though they're prescribed, they're still fucking drugs.
You need to
They're
be
still
objective,
drugs.
and you also need to be very mindful.
Yeah.
Like you got to pay attention about you got to think about the why. Why am I taking it? Why do I feel like I want to smoke right now?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I want to be here? Like I feel like just as long as you're mindful and you're realizing oh, I'm doing this because I'm anxious, or I think that's a big thing when it comes to any drug is just don't just do anything on a whim, or I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh about that. I don't know, but I feel like anything you kind of want to just be mindful. If you're starting to abuse something, be realistic with yourself about why you're using it too much. It's just when the mindlessness, when you just let me pack a bowl before work, and then you get that in the routine, and then you do that every day,
Right,
and then you
right,
don't
right.
take a step back to be like, wait, I've been high at work for the past 2 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go in sober.
And I feel like
you got to be mindful of what's
cool.
happening.
I could even feel like it could be the same way with blood pressure medication, for instance. You know what I mean? You're taking blood pressure medication and you're like, oh, I can't, now that I'm taking blood pressure medication, I can't take this, and that if I need to because it interferes with the drugs, and the blood pressure medication isn't that great for me anyway. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's is there another way to address it where you can, you know what I mean, really address the problem from a systemic standpoint.
Ideally, it all comes down to diet and exercise.
Because when people take the pill thinking like, oh, it's taken care
I'm
of.
good now.
My blood pressure's
I'm
good.
good.
My blood,
Ideally,
you know what I mean? My blood pressure's, I'm A-okay.
in
you
a
know?
perfect world,
But is that like, why are you taking it? Well,
Right.
is this really helping you? Like, are you just taking this like not mindfully and just like ignoring the reality of what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
or like anxiety medication, like that's
Same thing.
terrifying. Like I'm a super anxious.
But
I
some
would
people,
never do anxiety
some
medication.
people
I'm so
really
terrified.
advocate for it. Like especially the SSRIs, they
No,
seem like.
isn't it like they don't know how those work?
What do you mean?
They don't know the chemistry behind why they have the effect on some people that they have.
I'm not a pharmacologist, but
I've just heard that. I'm obviously not. I'm just
I'm
saying.
not a pharmacologist, but
Because a lot of things we can't explain. We know why certain pills or certain medication, to an extent. I mean, it's all just our
I
best
think
understanding of it as of now.
always more research should be conducted.
But yeah, I'm terrible. Like I would rather, instead of taking medication to solve my problems, let me find what's causing my problems and change that.
Hopefully.
For anxiety, like, all right, why am I anxious? Let me figure out why I'm anxious and try to change that. Let me not just take a pill that makes me less anxious.
Some people say it helps them. Like Steve-O.
Oh, no, I'm not saying
I've heard
it couldn't help.
Steve-O talk about it, and he's like fully sober.
But
You know what I
also-
mean? Like he's been sober for a long
dude,
time.
There's so many cases like that where I'm sure, and I don't want to dismiss the help that it can have for some people. I don't want to dismiss that at all. But in so many cases, you're not solving the problem; you're masking the problem.
It's hard to say for sure, but yeah, you'd have to look at it on a case by case basis, and I'm sure that there are a substantial number that is the case. I'm sure.
Like so many times, you're not getting to the root of why that's happening. You're just masking it with pharmaceutical drugs.
Keep it real, people.
I mean, painkillers. Like if you got a fucked up shoulder, if you got your rotator's cuff, it's bad. Or like, I mean, so many things. Like my mom got surgery on her shoulder. It's like maybe eat better. Maybe start taking some vitamins. Maybe try to like lift
lifting weights.
some weights. Maybe it'll start healing up. But you eat like garbage.
You got to get
You
good.
do zero exercise. I mean, she exercises a little. She's getting better.
You got to get good
I don't wanna talk
blood to
complete
those
shit
areas.
on my mom. But it's like there's, yeah, you get surgery and it fixes it. But like, how did it get that bad? Because of your lifestyle. Like you have to change. The surgeries, you're going to do it and then continue to keep doing the things you're going to do. 10 years down the road, your shoulder's going to be fucked up again.
Yeah, it's so easy to say it, but in reality, everyone's got their thing.
Putting it into practice.
Everybody's got
So
their
difficult.
thing.
So difficult.
Like no matter, and when it's easy for a lot of like, I find it's easy to point out things that I don't struggle with in other people.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's harder for me to be.
That's for everybody.
Yeah,
That's for everybody.
because it's so much easier. Like, well, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I can call them out on that shit. You know what I mean? Feels good, but
Yeah.
at the same time,
People love seeing somebody fail at something they're good at.
yeah,
People love that shit.
yeah. What are we at right now?
We're probably hour 20 maybe.
Oh, word. We're
fine.
Yeah, we're,
I mean,
we're
we can
fucking
go
running.
on. We can just keep it rolling because I mean, if we cut it off, we're just going to sit here doing the same thing.
Probably.
You
Like,
know,
do you think it'd pick me up if I go sit on the couch?
not as good, but I mean,
I'm gonna.
you've been pretty quiet anyway.
I'm gonna monitor on the couch.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm
No, I'm having fun.
Don't worry, I'll still be here in spirit.
I promise he's about to take a nap, no question. We're about to look over there. His mouth's about to be open catching flies.
He's going to be looking like Jackson.
Oh,
Just
he's about to be catching flies over there. He's about mouth wide open. On the
I'm gonna throw something at you.
You can throw a piece of fucking pizza at him.
No.
Can I sing you to sleep? Lullaby.
be careful on that because it is gained up for you to be 2 feet away from it.
Sleep.
Lullaby.
Maybe don't get that close.
My sweet Kadin.
Can I put you to sleep like I put Jackson to sleep earlier? Oh my god.
Don't fight it. It'll be okay.
You gotta
That's
go
so
pick.
funny.
You gotta go pick him up, Blake. You gotta go pick him up.
You gotta rock
man.
it.
You gotta rock it.
Jesus. I think Caden had to pick me up. I don't think I can pick Caden up, man.
Pick me up.
I could try. I'd blow my back out probably.
What do you weigh?
Like 210.
You can't lift 210.
You can live.
That's rough. Like this though, that's rough.
Yeah, I'm thinking
that.
like arms under the ass, like I
Yeah,
had Jackson.
yeah.
Like that
Oh,
would
that's
be.
easy,
yeah, like
man.
that, yeah.
If he just locks his legs around you,
I'd have to do
you
it.
can hold
I'd have
on.
to
210's not too bad.
squat and take it serious. You know what I mean? I have to take it real serious.
210's not too bad. Now cradled in the arms, that 210 that's
Yeah, like
rough. That's
like a
rough.
I'm
newborn.
talking to like I'm some sort of useless weight. Some sort of workout routine. Is that a lamb deal?
Yeah.
No.
Fucking exercise.
Yeah.
Listen, I had nothing to do with this.
One time with Chris and Apples, I was like, I laid on the floor and acted dead. I completely like went limp. And I was like, I bet y'all couldn't move me if y'all killed me. They dead ass for like 2 whole minutes of trying to like pick me up. It was bad. I was like flopping all over the place.
A body is not easy to move.
Hell
No.
Not that I have experience, but a body's not easy to move.
Oh, I do.
Tom Segura might.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Garth Brooks.
Oh, Jesus. What is that about, dude? Can y'all
So,
explain some of that to me?
So
Please.
there's like this fan conspiracy theory. Like if you look at Garth Brooks tour dates and these dates of people gone missing in certain places, they line up. So it's like a conspiracy, and like Tom Segura and his wife got a hold of it, and they started making this big thing. They're like, "Where's the bodies, Garth?" And they like pick on Garth Brooks all the time. He knows they do it now. He fucking hates them. He hates Tom.
I'm sure he does.
Every single thing he posts on Instagram will get like 3,000 comments, and 75% of them are like, "Where's the bodies, Garth?
Yeah.
Where's the bodies? Where's the bodies,
Garth, show us where the bodies are.
Show us where the bodies. Where's my mom, Garth?" It's so funny.
Garth, what did you do with my sister?
So is there any reality to
I
this?
doubt it.
I
I
doubt
it.
Garth Brooks is
I don't
going
think he's
around
killing
slaughtering people.
He's not R. Kelly, I wouldn't imagine.
R. Kelly's not a murderer.
Sex trafficker.
He just pissed on people underage.
Oh,
R. Kelly did.
Oh man.
No, Garth Brooks like just like I just rocked out a show. Let's go murder somebody. That'd be nuts.
dude, I'm not even really a Garth Brooks fan, dude.
He's got some bangers.
Garth
Low Places is probably the like most well known one.
Neon
right?
Moon's not Garth, is it?
Neon Moon? How does that go?
I'm not gonna sing it.
Underneath the light of the neon moon.
Yeah.
No, I think that is George Strait.
I know Thunder Rolls is Garth. That's a good song.
What is that? How does that go?
I'm not gonna sing it on here either.
Most
trying to get out of
most of the
sync.
Garths I know are Brooks and Dunn. They're not Garth.
Right,
I don't know any of Garth's solo work. It's all Brooks and Dunn. Because Brooks and Dunn were like the shit when we were kids.
Wait, Brooks and Dunn was
Garth Brooks and Roger Dunn? What's the fucking dude's name? Roger's not right. It's definitely not Roger.
and
You got the phone. Who is it?
What are we talking about?
Google Brooks and Dunn. What's Dunn's first name? They had like the big hats and shit.
yeah. Damn.
Didn't they do like the game day, like the NCAA game day? They did like the theme song for that.
Oh, I know who you're
Right.
talking about. Like Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Brooks and Dunn.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know that.
When I saddle up my horse and I ride into the sea.
Well, he'll sing.
Yeah.
Make a lot of noise.
That's a
They are
good
so
song,
pretty.
dude. That is a good song, man. Are you kidding me?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how deep it is, but it's certainly.
But dude, are you telling me when that song didn't come on Saturday morning for college game day, you weren't
Dude.
hype as fuck?
You want to talk about
Watching
like,
somebody get smoked while they're singing about
Yes.
riding and saving a
Just an
horse.
absolutely monstrous hit.
You want to
Yeah.
talk about corporate music? That's like, here's the guideline. We know this is going to sell records.
Right.
Brooks and Dunn weren't fucking independent artists.
Nah,
Oh my god.
I used to love watching that right before game day started.
Oh my god.
I ain't gonna lie.
Game day was the shit. You get so excited when it came to Columbia. They didn't come like once.
Columbia,
Yeah.
Clemson, yeah, we'd get it every now and again. Yep.
I think they came for us for like Georgia and
Yeah,
Georgia
yeah.
South Carolina. It was like
Right.
the first game of the season. I'm not following football like that.
A few
but I
years
don't know.
ago.
Yeah, that was huge.
Clemson has one every other year, usually. Something
How
like
funny is it that
that. Nowadays.
like we celebrate thousands and thousands of college age kids getting together and day drinking?
Oh, dude.
Well, no, they're celebrating
War.
college kids getting together and conducting a war game. Yeah,
Just
it's
bashing each
fucking
other's
fucking
heads
awesome.
in.
I'm not against it.
It's awesome. It
I
really
mean,
is.
I'm not
awesome.
into it, but I'm not against it.
Dude, if you tell me have you ever been to a college football game? You've been to a Carolina game, I'm sure.
Plenty of times.
Isn't that
I was
shit-
at I was at Carolina, Alabama when we beat Alabama.
So
I was
yeah,
at that fucking
so
game.
doesn't it feel amazing
Yeah. Oh, it's the energy is I would, but that's also any sport. Like,
to be
you go to a
united with
hockey
that many
game.
people?
I'd never watch hockey.
But it
We're
really-
fucking Southerners. But I go to a hockey game. That
And
energy
it's fun.
is insane.
But it means
I would
way
imagine
more.
Imagine like going to Madrid and hitting a fucking
Soccer game,
match.
yeah. Go to Barcelona.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's like the peak of that.
But
energy.
see, the
Oh
thing
my
is,
God.
like, it's not the same because if you were there and you grew up going, you were a kid in Barcelona and you managed to scrape up like what €100 to get a ticket, and you and your buddy are getting in, and you're gonna go to the fucking Barcelona game, and you know all the songs, and you're at the top row just singing your heart out. Barcelona's dicking down, fucking like
You were watching Messi and Neymar at one
Oh,
point. And all
God.
these guys.
I mean, that's almost psychedelic at a point.
Oh, of course it is.
Like, it's
Chanting,
wild. It's wild.
chanting, and watching your local representatives do a beautiful art on your behalf as a people. It's incredible.
Cool.
And then
So
the
cool.
football is the same way. People drag on it,
Yeah.
but it's like
People drag on football because the danger. It's dangerous.
It is.
I'm like, fuck that.
It
You
is
signed up
dangerous.
for it. I grew up skating.
Yeah.
I'm a lover on BMX.
You do.
If I get hurt, I get hurt. That everybody signs up for this
but
shit.
you're still aware. You're still
Right.
aware. There's a certain way you can play football.
The
in
thing
a,
is, kids
in a-
and,
in a-
like,
in a
not
safe
knowing and
way.
getting,
Exactly.
Like, yeah, but yeah, you're right.
you can
That- that's a- that
100.
is a
You
good
can
point.
play football in a safe way 100%.
Yeah.
100% you can.
Dude, imagine before.
But things are gonna happen.
or rugby.
Yeah.
Fuck rugby, dude.
Dude,
Fuck rugby.
they're all built like tree trunks.
It's the UFC on a field. Fuck rugby.
That's
all built like
insane.
tree trunks are running at you full speed. I'd piss my pants. I saw one
Oh
of them
my God.
brawling men running at me on the field.
Fighting is the craziest one. Fighting is
Fighting's
the
insane.
craziest one.
That
fighting,
sportsmanship. I think I mentioned it last night. That sport, like the way that you can literally be at each other's throats. I'm doing everything I can to murder you.
Kill you.
A bell rings and we shake hands. Good fight, bro.
We're done.
That I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could. Get
Some
in
of
that
them- some of
headspace.
them
That's
don't.
Such a
Yeah.
Some of them don't.
yeah. I mean, every fight last night was like that.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any
Yeah.
any bad blood last night. Everybody was
Yeah,
like, yeah, it was.
yeah.
Except for
everybody was very
Adesanya and
good sportsmen.
Duplessis.
Well, that's
yeah.
building up the hype for the next fight.
That felt real.
Oh yeah,
That
he was,
legitimately-
dude, he was mugging that man.
Do you know why?
I got my money on that side.
Did you know? Do you know what Duplessis said?
No.
Yeah, I read that this morning. when he
So
said-
this is
What about the African battle? Like the
well, yeah. So this is Duplessis said after his last fight, I believe, when he beat Brunson. He beat Brunson kind of viciously. It was kind of terrifying. But after the thing, he was like, "Yeah, we supposedly have we had 3 African champions in the UFC." Talking about Francis Ngannou, Kamaru Usman, and Israel Adesanya. But he was like, none of those guys live in Africa. Like, I'm a true African. I lived in Africa my whole life. From South
Spoken
Africa.
from a white guy.
Spoken from a white guy. But he's like, I lived in Africa my whole life,
Yeah.
and I train in Africa. I live in Africa now. This is what he said.
Yeah, he's got a point.
I breathe the African air, and none of those guys live in Africa.
I hate to say
And
that is a point.
that's
It's a
where
good
that
point.
animosity
Like
is stirring from. But then at the same time, if you're thinking about Adesanya, like, he is going from his home place and representing his
Right,
home
exactly.
all over the world.
Exactly.
You can't fault him for
no,
that necessarily.
No.
Yeah,
Because
no.
like him leaving and doing all that is an inspiration to all those kids that they can
Absolutely.
reach greater.
Absolutely.
So like there's nothing wrong with it either way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily make him wrong.
No, it's a good line to stir up some shit.
Yeah.
It's a good line. It makes
Exactly,
sense.
right.
The logic is there. It's not a stupid thing to say.
Of course not.
But to stir up some shit,
It's a
and get
legitimate-
fight, get some hype for the fight going. That's a damn good line.
It's a legitimate conversation at the very
yeah,
least.
That's a good line.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Who you think wins that fight?
Man, I think it's
Adesanya.
it's a great fight.
I'm calling
But
it right now.
when I
got
was-
my money on Adesanya.
When I was looking in the
Right
cage,
now.
when I was looking in the cage last night, and I saw Adesanya, like, okay, obviously I'm sure Adesanya had shoes on, and Duplessis did not. So that probably, but he looks so much taller.
Yeah.
The Adesanya looks so much
Saying
taller
right
than
now,
Duplessis.
my money's on Adesanya.
But
Vulcan,
Man.
That was a height difference. I think it was like, what, 5 inches?
Dude,
Who?
I had Vulcan, Yair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you didn't see the height difference on that, bro?
Was it that much?
Yeah, dude, it was
Volk's
nuts.
5'6".
How tall is Yair?
5'10".
Those are interesting fights though, because you see how they gotta like counter that. You see how they gotta work around the height difference. the
See,
reach.
Duplessis is powerful.
Yeah.
And he is one that is a good boxer, and if he lands a shot on you, it's gonna hurt. But I think Izzy is so technical that Duplessis, I think his signature and he's most effective when he takes guys down and gets in their guard or half guard and then beats the shit out of them. It's like, what in the fuck, dude? That is like so terrifying. And we saw that last night with Volk
Dude,
and fucking
And,
God, what was his name?
you talking about the two short guys?
No, Volk and who did Volk fight last?
Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah, when Volk like literally was just he threw him to the ground and Yair had nowhere to go and he was beating the shit out of him in his guard and half guard. And he was like, fuck you in your jiu-jitsu guard. I'm about to rain
Yeah.
down punches on you.
I'm about to whoop your ass.
You know what I
just
mean?
beat
I'm about
the
to
shit out
punch
of
your
you.
face from your guard. You know what I mean? And it's like that's kind of what Duplessis is good at, and he did that a little bit last night against Whitaker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it was the end of the first round when he got him down, and he was fucking raining down punches from up top. And I was like, holy shit, that's so scary because you have nowhere to go.
Rodriguez is 5'11".
You have so he's much taller. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's like 5 inches taller. Yeah.
But dude, if Duplessis can put Adesanya on his back and beat him up in Izzy's guard, which I think is very possible, that's how he wins that fight. I don't think he's going to stand. I don't think Duplessis is going to be able to stand and straight up trade punches kickboxing style with Adesanya. I don't see that happening.
I don't know.
No,
enough
Adesanya
about
wins
fighters to know
that.
Yeah.
I'm literally basing this off of the fight I saw last night. I think I've seen Adesanya fight once. One of the other fights we watched.
You watched Pereira.
Yeah.
You watched Pereira and Izzy too,
Just based
which
on
was
those,
an incredible night.
Just based on that, straight based on that, I'm putting my money on Adesanya. But like you guys know, like what their strengths are as fighters. I have no clue.
Duplessis is dangerous. You cannot look past that motherfucker because he's dangerous at 185. He's huge for 185.
Yeah.
If I'm being
Just
honest,
like Adesanya is.
Yeah.
if I'm being honest, I want Izzy to win for sure, but I hope they beat the shit out of each other.
Oh man, this man's hoping for a war.
Dude,
Brawl.
that's what I want. I want a brawl. I want them to be out there fucking brawling.
Man.
That's crazy.
That is for sure what I
They're
want.
sometimes they're brutal to watch.
Yeah.
Bro, the most brutal one I think I've ever watched probably was Poirier and Hooker. That-
Poirier and Hooker was
yeah.
so rough. There's been some bad ones, man. There's been some bad ones.
I did watch Jose Aldo get the shit beat out of him by that Peter Yan, whatever his name. I watched that fight. And Peter Yan beat the shit out of Jose Aldo, and it was bad.
Yeah, some of Khabib's fights are like that too, where it's just vicious.
Just beating the shit, just raining down, and I was like, "Brett, you gotta stop the fight." Aldo was just getting pounded. He was just getting fucked.
It's so like part of me doesn't want them to do it. Part of me doesn't want them to be in there.
Yeah.
But then like, first of all, they're choosing to be in there,
Yeah.
and it's so inspirational. So like, even though they're technically doing something that's terrible for their
Yeah.
body, they're contributing to humanity in some
See,
way that is almost unexplainable.
I feel
Like
the same
through
way.
they're almost sacrificing themselves
Right.
for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think fighters like, obviously they do it for personal glory and money
Yeah.
and all that shit, but like,
See, that's my biggest thing with like extreme sports. Like I'll go send myself down 2 flights of stairs 30 times in a row trying to trick. Yeah, and then they're like, and that's 100% for personal glory. Those guys aren't making millions until you
Right.
get to the top of the game. Dude, there's so many kids out there
Sponsors.
snapping femurs, and getting no money.
no money at
Just
all.
because they're like, I want to kickflip these stairs.
Same thing.
I want to kickflip these stairs.
Dude, yeah, like-
it's insane.
Those two sports weed out the pussies.
Dude, I've broken
Yeah,
2
they
bones
do.
doing that shit. I'm not sponsored. Like, no thanks.
Wrestling does that too.
Exactly. Like,
Wrestling, I didn't wrestle in high
until you're
school,
at the
but wrestling
top,
weeds out the pussies.
top, It's like you're not making any money for it. It's fully on you too.
Yeah.
It's fully on you.
I'll be right back.
You're just doing it because you want to do it.
For sure.
It's a wild thing.
I never really did any of the extreme sports stuff. Like I didn't really ever skateboard or do anything like that.
It sucks. I mean, I'm a pussy when it comes to that type of stuff. Like, like in Myrtle Beach, we had a little gang of guys who would get together, and they would encourage me to like do certain tricks that is for them super easy, and I know I could do it, but it's just like a movement that I don't do often. I'm not comfortable with. And they're like, dude, you got that, no problem. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, I'm not even trying. You do that. You can do that. And then there's the same thing with me though. Like I'd have stupid little things that I could do.
Yeah.
And they're like, I can't. I'm not trying that. That's fucking terrifying. And I'm like, it's so easy. What do you mean? But it's so weird how you develop like different. I don't even know where I'm going with that. You just develop like different skill sets when you're like. I mean, same thing with bring it back to UFC. Like you develop different skill sets based on the techniques you use, based on how you train. Based on the type of the art form that you're studying and you're well versed in. And then there's other guys who are like maybe really good grapplers.
Right.
And then the strikers are like, I'm not doing that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't put me in that
Yeah.
fucking.
But you
don't
heard
put me in that position.
You listened to Matt Serra talking about like when the UFC came onto the scene, and everybody saw Hoist Gracie. Everybody was like, jiu-jitsu is the key.
Yeah.
Right. Jiu-jitsu is the answer. And then everybody kind of left boxing and kickboxing, and you see the sport with people trying to really advance the ground game, but they're really not the best strikers.
Yeah.
Right? Like they if they were in a kickboxing match, they would get lit the fuck up.
Yeah, they get
and
fucked
now in the UFC, there's been a refocus on the importance of like standing up and kickboxing. You know what I mean? And now we're seeing that combination of like jiu-jitsu guys,
It's good balance.
getting their fucking ass beat by guys who are super slick on the ground.
Yeah.
Because the jiu-jitsu guy can't pin him down. He's a dancer. You're not going to catch him.
Yeah.
He's never in one place. He's the boogeyman. A really good kickboxer will be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. You know what I mean? They'll make you be like, I don't know where he's at, where he's going to be. So,
But that can also be with jiu-jitsu. Like I don't know where he's about to slip that hand in. I don't know where that foot's going.
true.
He's quick.
True. Yeah,
Like
right.
it's less of like
Absolutely.
slippery getting everywhere, but like more
Yeah.
slippery with the limb.
I guess-
I don't know where that elbow's coming sometime.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's coming from. Like, I
And
don't
still,
know.
we still definitely see high level jiu-jitsu. I was just kind of they were pointing out how the focus of the game has changed
Yeah.
because of how beautiful kickboxing is to watch. It gets so
Yeah, it's really
fun
entertaining.
and entertaining to watch kickboxing, and so is jiu-jitsu. But it's more delayed gratification.
It's better
when you
mass appeal as
finally
well.
see that choke sink in. You're like, oh my
Yeah.
god, he can't breathe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knowing that if there was no ref there to stop it, that motherfucker could kill him. You know what I mean? Like knowing
But
that.
it is the mass appeal. Like obviously, it's more entertaining to watch. For
Right.
people who know nothing about fighting, for me, it's more fun to watch.
Punches and
But
kicks.
for me, even as somebody who doesn't know anything about jiu-jitsu, even watching the guys on the ground, I can be like, oh, I see how he's starting to get control there. Like I see what he did. I see how he switched that up, and to me, that's super interesting too. But
Yeah.
I do like for the mass appeal, it makes sense. You want it to be more explosive and more fun.
the fundamentals of jiu-jitsu are simply the guard, half guard, side control, mount,
Yeah.
and back control. Mount being if you were flat on your back, I have both of my legs above your waist,
Yeah.
controlling your body. So basically, my lower half is controlled by someone else. You know what I mean?
Right,
Mount.
right.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, just that's really the basics. Once you know those, you can pretty much point out,
Yeah.
okay, he's inside control and he's trying to punch through and slip his leg over in the mount. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can start
Yeah.
talking about it a little bit. But I don't think it's that hard. I think boxing is more technical, to be honest with you. Because, you see two high-level boxers in there, and they're dancing around. They're barely punching each other. You see jab, jab, move, jab, jab, move. And you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
it's
what's
kind
going
of
on
similar
here?
to,
Yeah,
a stalemate ground
Yeah.
fight. You know what I mean? Where two people are trying to submit each other and control each other on the ground or grappling up against the fence. You know what I
hate
mean?
those type of fights. They
Yeah.
get so boring.
But yeah, dude. Fights are wild in how they can vary, the UFC fights.
It's extremely interesting.
It's extremely variable.
Speaking of fights, you got some Zuckerberg Elon Musk fight.
Is
they're talking about.
this real?
I'm sorry.
Is this shit
Zuckerberg
real?
is
I think so,
murdering
bro.
Elon, dude. Elon stands. No, he doesn't. It doesn't even work out that much.
He don't train like Zuck.
I don't
Zuck be
train. I don't
training.
think he's never had a class. You know?
Maybe not.
Do you see those videos of Lex Friedman and Zuckerberg?
Lex is legit.
Rolling?
Lex is legit.
Yeah, him and Zuckerberg were rolling.
Oh.
Dan Hooker did snap his arm last night.
How? What happened?
X-ray, let me see it.
Oh, Lord.
Dude.
Oh, Lord. He was like, it's just a scratch.
Yeah, it's just a scratch, mate.
This is just a scratch.
Wait, what happened?
He actually broke his arm.
Oh, he did. Dan
Yeah,
Hooker
apparently.
did.
He got the x-ray.
Dang.
It must have been from a punch. He probably punched him and broke his arm.
Ah, dude.
I think it was either from punches or like when he was on the ground with him, kind of on top of him. and
His
that dude
face was
like,
broken.
Mm.
He broke his radius, I believe. The radius is the bottom one, so the ulna is the large. The ulna is the large one, I believe.
I
So
don't know
it
the full
looked
one.
like he broke his ulna.
I completely
Like right
forgot
above
those
his
terms
wrist.
until you just said them.
Oh man, his face was beat.
Dude, those elbows.
God, his face
Those
was
elbows.
beat up.
It's wild how you have gloves, but you can kick twice as hard as you can punch. And you're sending a bony ass front of your, right into his face. But they don't glove up the feet. You don't got, padded socks. Why? That's terrifying.
I've seen people get knocked out with some kicks.
Dude, that's
son.
wild. A kick's coming at you way harder than a punch.
What Michael
Damn.
Chandler did to Tony
Kicks are so
Ferguson.
scary. Oh,
Dude, that front kick was disgusting.
Hey, Chuck, Dad.
Dude, what Leon Edwards did to Kamara Usman with that head kick. Yeah,
the kicks are by far the most scary.
It's wild.
Like the consequences of a shin connecting with your head.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Because, I mean,
Imagine a shin connecting fully right on the bridge of your nose. Do you imagine the pain?
dude,
Your
that's
nose
bare
is
knuckle.
shattered.
That's bare knuckle. When you get the kickboxers in the ring and they're slinging kicks like that might as well be bare knuckle.
Oh, it's worse.
It's so insane.
Far worse. Do you
Pad
realize
their knuckles. Let them sling them feet though.
Kamara
That's
took it
wild to me.
right on the jaw, right across the fucking jaw.
I know.
Same thing. Dan Hooker took it right on the fucking jaw last
Dude,
night.
right to the earlobe too. Imagine that on the
Oh.
He's lucky he didn't get knocked out. Right
God,
there.
if anybody who's had like a head, like truly hit their head hard, I mean, you know that the true excruciating pain of that, and how
I tapped my head on concrete.
and
it's terrifying.
it usually
Sucks.
doesn't subside easily
Ooh, it's
either.
bad.
It doesn't
Not
subside
fun.
easy, so you know he's in there in horrible pain.
Oh yeah.
He's in
for
there
sure.
in horrible. They're in there fighting in horrible pain, and while they're in horrible pain, they're getting their fucking face beat in.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. It's not like they get one and they're done. It's
Well,
like
that adrenaline too.
God.
That is, you're not feeling. I mean, when you're at that level and you're that trained, like a lot of that, it's nothing. It is nothing.
so
I
terrifying.
mean, shit.
The consequences.
Like again, he snapped his arm. It's just a scratch. He's smiling. He's talking to Joe. It's just a scratch.
Just a scratch.
It's like, dude, your arm is snapped, and you kept fighting for who knows when did it snap? Like, how
There's
many
no
more
telling
minutes was
what's-
he fighting?
I bet Hooker made at least 250 last night. You think? He had to be up there at fight of the night. Like what? What were the
I think it was Duplessis and Whitaker. was
Yeah,
the
let's
fight of
look
the
at
night.
the performance of the night.
I think it was Duplessis and Whitaker.
But yeah, like their pain level is just insane. It's so wild.
Oh, dude, and like taking them calf kick, like
Oh,
just getting kicked in the calf down there. If I took like one like just calf kick by one of those guys,
Worst.
100%, I'd be on the fucking
Worst.
floor.
Dude, fight of the night was Mourinho Pantoja.
Pantoja.
Sorry.
Performance of the night was Duplessis.
Duplessis and Dennis Gomez.
That's the girl who knocked that other girl out in 20 seconds.
Damn.
imagine the kick to the gut too. Oh, there's one like straight forward, and it hit him right in the sternum.
Internal bleeding is
Ooh.
real. Internal bleeding is real as fuck.
Ooh,
Them body shots hurt.
dude, no way. That guy could blow a kiss at me, and I would not get knocked out.
God.
There's no way.
Man, so I guess what we're trying to get at is thank you, fighters. Thank you for entertaining us. So that was fucking awesome. I'm glad we get to experience that shit.
That was, dude. That was.
Hell of a line.
That's one of the best cards I've watched in a little minute. Like a
Fucking
full
awesome.
card all the way.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Man, it's been fun.
Call
I
it.
think this is a good place to end up.
I believe so.
I'm about to fall asleep. I'm fucking high as fuck.
All right. Anybody have any closing remarks?
Closing.
Thank you guys for having me on. I really
was
enjoyed
fun.
this. Yeah, I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. It's fun.
We 26th
29th.
29th.
Yeah.
pizza party. Let's do it.
Sounds fun.
Let's do it.
Fuck it,
I'll
let's
bring
do
my
it.
oven down, or we can. I'm shit. We can have it at his place.
Stay tuned.
Bring both the ovens out to his place. Ooh, that'd be a good night, man.
Stay tuned.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, motherfuckers, keep it real.
Appreciate you.
You little cooked over there, huh, K Diddles?
That was a nice long one, dude. That was a
You little cooked
Dude,
over
I'm
there.
at 4,000 beats. That means nothing because they're usually at about like 2,800.
Turn on blue people. Turn back on blue people too. You're fucking right.
Dude, that had to be close to.
Turn it back on, Kaden.
I want to say, I think when this camera cuts off again, it'll be 2.
All right, I'm gonna get the.
And we're at 28 minutes. So yeah, that's got to be.